Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Justin, and in today's video we're going to do an install on the Supra. Alright guys, so ever since that we got the Supra tuned, right now it's on an E50 tune, pushing more horsepower, pushing more torque, generating more heat. So a problem with a lot of these turbocharged cars is heat soak. Heat also destroys car parts, and we want to make sure that we keep heat to a minimum. That way we can make sure that our car stays happy, and in the long run we stay happy. I do have intentions maybe later down the line to get a better intercooler and upgrade that, but for the time being I think it's really important to at least get a heat shield or something to take all the heat in that turbo area and keep it all consolidated in that area so it doesn't go all over the engine bay. A nice little stopgap for that is this part that I had purchased, and it's actually right in the box right over there. Alright guys, so what we are working with is in this box. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. So what we have here is the Verus heat shield. This is made by Verus Engineering. It's a really nice steel plate, pretty good thickness. I think this is going to do a lot better when it comes to trapping in the heat close to that turbo and preventing it from seeping out of there. As you can see, this is a two-piece design. These two pieces bolt in together like this, and it keeps all that heat around that turbo. As far as hardware goes, it looks like we've got a spacer here between the two and a washer and a couple of bolts. They also give you it looks like a sticker and a little thank you card. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna open up the Supra. We're gonna take a look underneath the car, and I'll show you what the stock heat shield looks like underneath. Alright guys, so this is what it kind of looks like underneath the hood. As you can see, everything here is stock. So this is basically where we're going to be working at. So what we're going to be installing is a heat shield, and this is what it kind of looks like underneath. We do have this big old air box that's in the way. There is a muffle here for the air intake. I haven't decided yet if I want to delete this. Because I do live in California, I would like everything to look as stock as possible. So we might have to modify this for this to stay on the air intake. But essentially, what we're working on is this heat shield right in the back. Alright guys, so it looks like the first thing that we need to do here is remove the air intake. I have taken this off before when I removed the downpipe, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Looks like we've got a couple of screws here. You got to loosen this out. And then there's a couple of grommets underneath the air intake. So what I'm going to do is undo this, pull it up, and then that way we can take a better look at the heat shield. This looks like this is actually oil from the air filter, so I'm not really too concerned about that. So taking a closer look guys, this is pretty much the heat shield that comes on the A90. This stuff is really thin. It doesn't seem like it protects very well, but this is just the heat shield on the air intake. The actual heat shield's underneath in there. So this right here is the actual turbo heat shield. As you can see, this thing is really tiny. So what we're gonna basically do is we're gonna unbolt this, and we're gonna install the Verus one in there, and I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. Looks like we're gonna need a 13mm. Wow, the other one was pretty loose. I was able to break that one without even loosening it up. Thank God for power tools. Makes my life a lot easier. And don't forget to take off your O2 sensor plugs here on the side. We'll go ahead and put that back once we install everything. Quick overview here. We went ahead and remove this from the engine bay. This is the original heat shield that helps cover up the turbo. If I'm understanding the instructions correctly, this is going to go back onto the car, but it's going to be wedged in between these parts, or I'm sorry, these spacers are going to be wedged in between. So let me go ahead and put this together for you guys. Alright guys, so the way that these things work, it's actually kind of counterintuitive. Verus suggests that you put in the smaller plate first, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do here. So it looks like that's slotted where it needs to go. We're gonna leave that right there. Now we're gonna bring the big boy in. Let's see if I can do this without losing any nuts or screws or anything. Duh. It'd be kind of smart if I put it in the other way, huh? All right, let's do that again. Take two. Too big. Too big. All right, third time's a charm. Okay, just right. So before I tighten everything up, I'm going to go ahead and install the smaller piece here. Make sure everything lines up correctly. But before I do that, I'm going to make my life easier and move you guys to the other side because you're kind of in my way. I still love you though. Okay, so what I'm going to undo now is the little metal plate that goes onto the air filter here. This won't be needed anymore, and plus it looks ugly as hell. I think this is a torque screw. Did wipe up the excess grease from that air filter. I think K&N really over oils some of these guys. Yeah, that thing is greasy as hell. Top to the top. Push that in there. Okay. Put our filter back in. Wipe off the excess grease. Now, we're going to see if this is still going to be able to fit without being modified. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like it is. Alright guys, so we just wrapped up the install. This is what the finished product looks like, and I'm pretty happy with the way it looked. Oh, we got the air intake back on, as well as this little muffle. Luckily we didn't have to modify the intake for it to fit in. Later down the line, I might consider actually doing the delete on this. All you have to do is, I think, remove like 2 screws and put a little cap on this side. That way you can get some more air intake noises. So the heat shield itself is right over here. It pretty much just covers the turbo all underneath the intake. It's gonna pretty much encapsulate all that heat around that turbo area where it needs to stay, keeping the heat away from the rest of the engine components. It looks actually quite nice. It's very clean. It looks pretty stock from the top, but of course it says Verus on there on the side. But for the most part, this is kind of the look that I've been going for. Something nice and stealthy, but very, very functional. So my goal is to essentially just make sure that the everything under the hood stays nice and cool. Heat is destroyer parts, so we want to make sure that the car stays nice and healthy, especially when it's pushing more power. So that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It didn't go as smooth as I thought it would be. It's kind of funny that Verus gives you extra bolts and nuts, anticipating that you're going to drop them in the car, and that's what I ended up doing. I ended up dropping 2 of them, so I have to go fetching and looking for them. But we got it done. Hopefully the engine, intake air temps go down, the rest of the engine components go down. I think it's a great start to cooling upgrades. I do want to get an intercooler, but that's probably something that I'll have to do later down the line if I really want to get into more power. I think a Verus heat shield is a nice stopgap in between, just to kind of help out. That's going to be it for today's video, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you like my videos, please hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. Follow my builds on the Supra and the E36. If you like this video, please hit the like button too. I'd greatly appreciate it, guys. Until next time, take care. Remember, respect your elders. Peace.